Hey guys, Mary Ann here with Shopping Crafty. Today I'm going to start off a little series that I wanted to start about moving to Los Angeles and how to go about that and not start off on the wrong foot in this city. So first of all, today I will talk about moving to Los Angeles and finding an apartment. So you might notice if you've looked already, like if you look on rent.com or Zillow or like the normal like paths that you look at, I mean at least in Wisconsin that's what people would be looking at, they aren't really that great for Los Angeles, which they're probably going to hate me for saying that, but I feel like those are always like more expensive places. So maybe if you're like looking for a house, you can go through Zillow, but if you're trying to have an affordable apartment here, there's one website that a lot of people in Los Angeles use called Westside Rentals. The catch with that one though is there is a fee to look at their listings. So I have never used them. I did once log on to a friend's account and like search through what was available. It's exactly what you can, I mean like they have listings that you can't access otherwise. So sometimes it might be worth it. It was, I looked it up, so it was $50 for 30 days, $60 for 60 days, or $70 for 90 days. I mean, I guess you could just chalk it up to a moving expense, but for me, I don't really recommend that, but it is an option if you are willing to put out that money. Otherwise, me and other people have actually just had a lot of success with Craigslist. With Craigslist, of course, though, you have to be careful. Be very, very careful. If you're going to look at the apartment, try to have somebody who can go with you. And also, do not put your financial information into a website for somebody you've never even met, and like if you haven't seen the property or anything. I mean, you just have to be smart. Always Yelp it and Google the company's name if they're trying to get that information, because you can usually find people being like, don't, it's a scam. And that's how you get money taken from you. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So the website, it's not actually a website, the app that I use is called PadMapper. They do pull stuff from Craigslist. I think they have other resources as well, though. And I really like that because it also helps you visualize where you're looking, because they have it on a map and they have the little like tags of what places are for rent. So I really wanted to stay in the northern area when I moved to my current apartment, maybe in the North Hollywood area. I ended up a little farther outside of North Hollywood than I wanted and a little farther away from Glendale and Burbank than I wanted, but still I got one of the cheapest apartments probably that you can get in Los Angeles. So it works out, and it lets you, you know, specify if you have pets, if you're going to have pets, what if it's a cat or a dog, because some places let you have cats and they don't let you have dogs, or vice versa. So I definitely recommend PadMapper. That was a good path for me. Also, I don't recommend living alone when you move out here because it's expensive. It's very, very expensive. The rule of thumb is the more roommates, the better, because the more bedrooms an apartment has, the cheaper it gets per person, per bedroom, you know? So I've only ever lived in 3-bedroom apartments out here. And that's also great because that usually means the living space is also bigger, which is great. You have more space for everybody. Right now, I pay $646 a month. I don't have parking. My roommates have parking. I got first pick of room because of that, and I actually picked like the medium-sized room because it has a patio off of it, which I love. And that's, I mean, I think that's one of the lowest prices you can get here. I do know a couple exceptions, but it's a really good price. And when I first moved out here before, it was even lower because, I mean, rent goes up every year. Inflation, and just the longer you live in an apartment, the more they raise the price, which is not great, but whatever. So yeah, more roommates the better. If you can know who they are in advance, that's great. I know That's not always possible. Sometimes people moving out here don't know anybody. I moved out here with people that were also from Wisconsin that I had met on a set back there. We weren't really close or friends or anything, but we were all moving to Los Angeles, and it worked out really well. And they also did the trip out here to go apartment hunting, so I didn't have to spend money on that, and that was a lifesaver. One other thing I wanted to note, actually, is apartments in Los Angeles, the majority of them do not come with a refrigerator, so you want to budget for that. It's like in Wisconsin, I'm pretty sure they always come with a refrigerator, so to me that was weird. Because, like, I mean, they come with a microwave and a stove. I mean, I guess my first place didn't come with a microwave. But, like, the stove and the oven comes with it, but the fridge doesn't. I don't know. I feel like a fridge is something that everybody needs, but oh well. So yeah, definitely budget for a fridge when you get out here. I also don't recommend buying a new one. Get a used fridge. You don't need a new fridge. All it needs to do is keep your food cold. You don't need the water. You don't need any of that. I mean, if you really want it, I guess you can spend the money on that, but it costs more. And you have to get it all set up and hooked up to the water, and it's a mess. Also, when you are looking at where to live, I prefer suburban areas. So for me, Glendale and Burbank, I love them. They're so awesome. I definitely wouldn't recommend living in Hollywood itself. It's like what everybody pictures like and thinks about when they're moving to LA usually. But if you go there, it's not a great area. It's actually a pretty gross area. It's like the tourist trap, and it's I don't really like it. And the closer you get to the beach, the more expensive it's gonna be. So I don't know, other places that are great are like Silver Lake, Los Feliz. I don't even know if I say that right. All the names out here, whatever. But yeah, I definitely recommend staying north. I really love living north of Hollywood. So I live in North Hollywood now. I used to live in Glendale. Even Santa Clarita, it's a farther drive, but there's usually less traffic, and it's a little bit more affordable. And Pasadena are great areas. They're just larger commutes, so you have to be willing to pay the gas for the difference. And when you are looking places up, just Google it, see if there's a Yelp for the apartment. A lot of apartments won't have a Yelp page, but they might. It's always good to look. And you can look at like the crime mapper websites to see crime rates in the area. You're not going to be able to find an area that doesn't have any crime. We are a city. I'm sorry. But, I mean, my area is fairly safe. The only thing that usually happens around here is car theft, which it's not even like, I don't know. My friend actually was parking on our street and her battery got stolen out of her car. That is not great. So also, I do absolutely recommend getting parking spots. I'm okay with parking on the street. North Hollywood, it's easier. If you're going to move somewhere like Koreatown or more dense city areas, you're either going to need to buy a permit to be able to park on the street, or you're just going to be driving for an hour every night to try and find a parking spot and then walking. Get a parking spot if you can. Yeah, again, fortunately, just because I like the suburban areas, I haven't had to worry about it, so I've always been fine with parking on the street. But to each their own. And sometimes it doesn't feel super safe, so I have like my little pepper spray. And I always like pretend to be talking on the phone as I walk, as if that's safer. It's not. It's just like a little security thing to be like, hey, if you rob or kill me, my friend's gonna hear you over the phone. Just let me do my thing, okay? Alright, was there anything else? No. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just I recommend PadMapper and checking out the crime rates for the area. And I mean, it really depends on what you prefer, suburban or urban, but either way, the more roommates, the better, by far. Alright, so that was all the info I have for finding an apartment in Los Angeles. I'm also going to do a video about, I don't know, things to do for free or cheap out here. Various other moving things, like about planning your trip out here. A lot of people drive out here. I have some qualms and advice about that because I did that as well and made a couple mistakes. And yeah, just general advice about moving here. I'll keep you guys posted. Thanks for watching.